everybody, welcome. My name is Emmy, and today we're diving into something a lot of us are going through in this moment in our life: high school. There are so many different things that you can go through during high school, and I feel like a lot of it just isn't noticed or isn't recognized. And I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video about it or make a podcast about it and just really kind of connect with everybody and know that the stuff that you're going through, you're not going through it alone, and there's so many other people who are going through the same thing. It can always depend on what point in time you are going through in this moment. Like, you could be a freshman who has no idea what is going on, like you're just lost, or you're a junior who's exhausted and you got one more year to go and you're just like ready to be done. So hopefully that you can kind of connect with what I'm saying and maybe use it for your own life and for your own well-being. So let's go. Okay, so the first part that I wanted to talk about is just growing up. Um, I think it's a very common saying, and maybe you don't know it, or maybe you do know it. It's called, or everyone says, you have to know who you are. Like in high school, like this is like where you figure out who you become, what you want to do when you're older, what you like, who you want to hang out with, what your niches are. Like no one no one's going to know that when you are 16 years old. Like seriously. You're just becoming a teen when you start high school. So and guess what? You have like 50 more years to go. Okay, I wouldn't say 50. I would say like 70. You got 70 more years to go, and they're expecting you to understand who you are now. You aren't supposed to know any of this stuff. You haven't even grown up. Like, you are literally still growing. Your fundamentals, your hormones, like your body is growing as well as your brain. So you're not gonna know everything, and you're really not gonna know who you are. Especially in high school, I feel like there's just so much like trying to fit in. So I feel like just don't feel pressured to know who you are, because honestly, I feel like that's really unrealistic. And I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on you to be like, oh, I'm supposed to know like what I want to do. You're literally starting out high school. I have talked to tons of people who thought they knew what they wanted to do after high school, or knew like who they were as a person. You don't. You actually will never know. You will keep growing and growing. You will change so much. Okay. Hello. You will change so much as a person, and that is like completely fine. There's going to be so many different versions of you and different chapters that you go through in life that you really just are always changing as an individual. So just don't be pressured to know how to have everything figured out. Next, I feel like this is like real talk. Like, everyone is figuring out who they are. Like, the people who you think most that they feel like, oh my gosh, they're so confident, they like they have everything figured out, they don't seem worried at all. Girl, those are the people who are going through the most. Like, you think that they are like internalizing everything 10 times more. And I feel like this goes along with like comparing yourself a lot. um it doesn't matter, like academically, socially, physically. Someone can be like looking a entirely different way than how they're actually feeling. Like, I could be like strutting down the street, cute outfit, like strutting my stuff, and I could be thinking everyone's looking at me and thinking I look like shit. Like, I look so bad. But you don't know that because I'm not showing it.
Hey guys, it's editor Emmy. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Quick little intermission here. Hope you're liking the video. If you feel like it's a little bit run-on, sentencey, don't know what my actual point is, you're a little bit correct. I feel like I was having a little bit of a hard time, especially by myself, um, getting to the point and kind of struggling with my words a little bit. So I'm sorry if that's a little bit annoying. but it gets better towards the end, I promise. But what I wanted to say was there is something called fake it till you make it. And I feel like that is an important lesson that everyone should learn. And that helps a lot with, what goes on behind the scenes, um, just as a person individually. Basically, what fake it till you make it means is that even if you're not feeling your best, you just like, you act like you're doing your best. You act like everything is going perfectly, and boom, sooner or later, you're gonna realize I manifested that. I'm actually doing great. It's all in your head. Once your body or once your mind is like, wait, I keep on telling myself that I'm happy. Okay, you don't take this where, like, if you're depressed, get help. Like, don't just feel like you should be faking it. But there's a line, So at one point you're going to be like, "Wait, I'm happy. It was all you, boo. Fake it till you make it." That's an important lesson. Peace.
Especially with like academics, those people who you see that I have all A's, are in like multiple clubs, they're in honors shit, like you think like, oh my gosh, they've got their life together and they're doing so well. But guess what? I have a feeling that they would rather have regular classes. They don't want to be doing 13 billion clubs. Like, it's fun. It is so much fun to be in different clubs and having different like niches, or just finding stuff that you're interested in. But when it's like you feel like you have to do this stuff, it's not really enjoyable anymore. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, because it's like I see this person and they have like all A's. They're doing so much for their academics, and you feel like so much worse about yourself because you feel like you've done nothing to help yourself and you are only taking regular classes. It makes you feel like so much less. So I definitely promise you, don't feel bad about what you're doing. You're doing great in life. You're doing so good with your academics. And even if you aren't, just be proud of yourself that you're pushing through. And if you're not pushing through, get on that shit, because it's really important, I promise. Um, and if you're feeling demotivated,
Quick little side note here. By the way, look at my dinner. Quick little side note. I kind of wanted to add here. This doesn't just have to do with like academics or like just like walking down the street. I see this a lot in just social media too, like influencer type stuff. You think that just because what an influencer or just someone online posts like about themselves or something that they're doing, you think like this person is perfect. Like they got their life together. They're so pretty. They, got all this fancy stuff. They, they post like less than half of their life. They go through so much. So don't think that they're perfect. And especially at a young age. Oh, hello. Especially at a young age, you're so influenceable that you think that you, at the age of 17, are supposed to be where someone is at 25. Oh my gosh. Hey, girl. What's going on? Okay. Just know that you should, like, that's so unrealistic. And trust when I say this, you shouldn't be worrying about that right now. Just worry about yourself and making sure that you're setting healthy mindsets and realistic expectations for yourself, and not letting a 25-year-old define who you should become in this moment or make you feel bad about who you are.
I feel like that's also a big reason and why that people feel like people compare, is like you want to be doing all that great stuff, but you aren't meant for that, and that's okay. And I feel like a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just forced into doing all that hard stuff. Like, I get it. If you want to be challenged, if you're ready for a challenge, if you think, oh, like regular math is too easy for me, then do AP, do honors. That is totally fine. But if you feel like you have to do it because it'll look good on your high school record, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Just know that it's okay to take regular classes or
I also just wanted to add in that it is okay to go through struggles. Just know that in high school, it's so common for like everyone to have something that they're dealing with or something that's getting them down. So try and find comfort in the fact you're not alone in feeling like this, and it's totally okay to go through something like that.
it's okay socially to not want to talk to people all the time or just stay in your friend group. Or it can be an amazing thing to venture out, to meet new people, to be social. It's okay that people want different things. You don't have to be like everyone else. That's why everyone's so individually unique. And that's why you want to be. Like, you don't want to be the same copy and paste person. Like, that just ain't fun. Growing up is about experimenting in what you like and what you don't like. Whether you want to do like 4 clubs, that's fine. Do what you want. But you also don't have to. You can have one or you can have none. But I feel like that is a good thing to have at least one. You want to be finding different things that you like, and that'll help you find what you want to do in the future. But you don't have to know. No one's going to know. By the time they get out of high school, you're going to change your decision on what you want to do so many times. And if you don't, that's great. But that's a part of experimenting. That's a part of finding what you like. You're not going to figure out what you like if you just do one thing and say, okay, that's good. So just know that it's okay to experiment. And failing is such an important part of life. Whether that's in grades or if that helps you learn a lesson, that's totally fine too. Failing is a very important part of life. All right, next thing I wanted to talk about is finding your interest and your people. So in high school, sometimes it can make you feel like you have to pick a path, like whether that's in like sports, theater, STEM, art, leadership. You feel like you can only be in one thing, like you have to pick between those. So I'm here to say it's okay to have not just one passion. You are allowed to explore. You're allowed to, you can do all 5. I mean, that's going to be a lot of work, but if that's what you're into and you enjoy life and you're okay with carving out that time, do it because YOLO. That's what I live by right now. YOLO. I live by YOLO. And I feel like it hasn't failed me. You only live once, so just do what you like. So, a little bit into my life and what kind of the reason why I'm saying this is so important. Um, my sister did in high school, we went to the same high school. We both did dance, and the reason why I kind of followed into her footsteps was because I was like, you know what, my mom did dance, my sister did dance. Now I feel like I have to do dance because they both did it. It was not for me, let me tell you. We all have our strong suits and we all have stuff that we could improve on. And that was one of the things for me that I was not that good. I did have the right mindset and dedication and just like determination mindset, but it just wasn't for me. I couldn't connect with it, and that's okay. I instead do cheer now. Well, for 1 year, but um, I love doing cheer, and I love the spot I'm in, and it feels like a family to me. And I'm good at it, and I feel strong, and I feel confident. And you want to find that in a sport. You want it to feel like your safe place, but at the same time where you're always being challenged. So whether that's like you could be doing art in STEM, or you could be doing a sport or and leadership. I do okay, let me tell you. Sport, theater, STEM, art and leadership. I do sport, I do cheer. Theater, I'm very dramatic. STEM, art, I do art. Leadership, I'm in leadership. You can do all of those. And it doesn't have to be those. It can be whatever you want. So just know you don't have to stick to one thing. I think another thing that's really important is finding your people. The people who make you feel good about yourself, that can encourage you. I think one of the things that I've been hearing lately is someone saying to me, thank you for telling me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. You want to find those kind of people. Of course, it's okay to like give them gaslight them a little bit, be like, you got this, even though they may not. That's okay. But I feel like most of the time, you just want them to give you a very realistic rundown of like where you're at and tell them if you screwed up. Be so honest. You might not find your best friend right away. And that's like a true fact because this is a long time ago. I'm just going to give this example because I feel like it is relevant. When I was in like second, third grade, I was living in Kansas at the time and I met a really good friend that I thought was my best friend. I'm not going to tell you what her name was, but like we got along and the people who knew her for longer, like they were her like second best friends, but I was like that the really good like best friend. And oh, we moved away and I rarely ever see her again. And of course they're your best friend, but it's like childhood best friend and we kind of just drifted apart. So I was kind of sad about that and I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna like meet anyone who really gets me ever again. But guess what? I did. I now have a best friend of how many years? 7, 5 years. We've been best friends for 5 years, but it doesn't even feel like that short. It feels way longer than that. It feels like we've known each other since forever. Yeah, I'm lucky to have found my best friend, but you might not even find them in high school. Like, you might find them way later in life. And I feel like you don't want to force it either. You just want to I feel like you don't even want to force it either. Just let it happen when it wants to happen. You don't want to force it and be like, oh, they need to be my best friend. Or else you're just going to be sad and you're just going to make yourself sad. Be open and just let them come to you, you know? And your friend group is going to change so much. In my opinion, my friend group has changed a lot. So I feel like it's very important just to let the people who aren't meant for you walk away. Let them leave. You don't want that in your life, okay? You don't want that. So just know that even if it doesn't feel right and if you're really sad in the time, it'll make sense in the future and you'll understand why it wasn't meant to be. So your friend groups will change and that's okay. The people who are real will stick around till the end. All I'm saying, try new things. Nothing's set in stone. You'll change your mind about sports, about what you feel like you're meant to do in life. It'll change 1,000 times. So don't worry. Nothing is permanent. Just go with the flow. But also try hard. Don't be a try hard, but try hard. If you know, you know. All right. So, the next thing I wanted to talk about was balancing school, home life, and if you add on work. I, for the longest time, had such a hard time balancing. I feel like a lot of people do. And this is why I want to talk about it because it is really hard to make sure that you're not like overdoing it on school or like not focusing enough time with something. Like it's really hard to balance and figure out what the right amount is for any of that. For me, for the longest time, it was okay just balancing home life and school just because as a like freshman slash sophomore there wasn't going there wasn't a lot going on for me and I just didn't really put myself into that much, especially freshman year. I was just like a hermit, like I was just a hermit of a person. All I would do was go to school, come home from school, do my work, and then honestly I think I just play Roblox or Minecraft for the rest of the day and I wouldn't go outside. I had just had so much time on my hands and I just didn't use it usefully at all. As high school went on, I'd say that my senior year, so this year, has just been so different compared to my freshman year. I feel like junior year or sophomore year and junior year were kind of a mix, but now like senior year and freshman year completely different. For senior year, I have work. I have a lot to do with my home. I'm starting college soon, so I also have to work on that. And then obviously I have school still. And I feel like recently I've just had such a hard time figuring out like what is the right amount to put into all of these. So I'm kind of giving you a few tips for balance. So I'm gonna give you like a few tips, so maybe three. So the first one is prioritize what's actually important today. So it may feel like, especially for me, because college is coming up, I feel like I have so much to do for college, but nothing I can do in the present, and I'm just worrying myself. Like I'm just overthinking, and I could just put all that aside and come to it when it needs to be dealt with. Just prioritize what needs to get done today. Don't worry about having to do anything else that is for the future, unless you can help yourself towards the future. But I can't do anything yet. So if you need to get the dishes done today, do the dishes. Homework is done today. Don't procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Because you know what? Your brain will start to reform, and when that's how you make habits. By doing something every day the same exact way, your brain's gonna think, oh, this is a norm. So if you procrastinate every single day, that's how you're gonna be for the rest of your life until you start changing. So don't procrastinate. That is the worst thing that you can do for yourself. Just do it right now, okay? There's no time like the present. That's actually a good saying too. Keep that in mind. Write this shit down. It's okay to say no sometimes. I feel like that's another thing. I guess this could go for most things, such as like if your friends want to hang out with you, but you just don't have the time, if you need to do more important things like do your homework, say no. You have plenty of time to hang out with your friends. However, if you feel overwhelmed with your homework and your friends ask you to hang out, prioritize your friends.
Tiny editor's note. What I meant by that is that if you have homework, prioritize that because homework is very important. But if you feel like you're overwhelmed by the amount of homework you have and you just need a break, take it because it's very important to socialize with your friends. It can help you reboot and it'll help you feel better.
Be like, I need to take a step back. This doesn't need to get done right this moment, and I will be okay to do it later. I'm gonna go manage my well being and go hang out with my friends. That is totally fine. Do that. But it could also go for like, it could also work with like work. If you feel like you're ready to do work, do work. If you aren't ready, but you're feeling pressured by your parents to like start getting a job, start making your own money, then obviously that's something you have to talk about them with and kind of assess if maybe you, even if you don't want to do it, it might be good to do it anyway. Just think about that. Think about your stress as pancakes. You feel like you have too many pancakes on your plate and you can't eat them all. It's okay to refuse some of those pancakes and take them off. Think of it that way. A tip that I really like for high school is getting a binder or a schedule, a calendar, anything, a planner. Doesn't matter. Get something that you can write all of your to-do list down on so that when it comes to it, you're not trying to remember what you needed to do today. You can just look in your planner. I personally have had a planner for 3 years. I've gotten one every year of high school. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't get one freshman year. Yeah, I didn't get one freshman year. I had sophomore, junior, senior year. Always had a planner, used it every single day. I promise, a planner's so good. It just helps so much with unstressing yourself. Of course, sometimes it feels like there's a lot to do, but just check them off one by one. Baby steps is so important. I also feel like I need to point this out that you're not lazy for being tired and you're not weak for needing to rest. You may have stuff to do and you feel like you just don't have the mental capacity to do it that day. Just don't. Go take a nap. You're not going to benefit from being tired and trying to do your work. You're just not going to learn anything.
Okay, another thing I wanted to add on here really quickly. I just wanted to say that there is such thing as burnout. And I've experienced this multiple times in my high school life, especially sophomore, junior year, I started to notice that I can't just keep on going and pushing through. I needed to take breaks and I needed to slow down. And signs of burnout is just feeling so overwhelmed that you can't even move, you can't even process one single thought. Crying is a very important one. A quick story: in my history class sophomore year, this teacher, he gave out so much busy work that I started to feel overwhelmed with how much work he was giving, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I physically can't do this, that I just started to break down and cry. And even though, yeah, sometimes it was pretty hard, and it was history, no one understands history, at least I don't. I was just starting to feel so overwhelmed. And I needed to take a break. Even though, let me tell you, most of the stuff that I had to do was due the next day, and it was already like 9 p.m. All I wanted to do was crawl in bed. Guess what? Because I was so tired and I literally just could not take it, could not take another second of doing it, I just decided for my well being that I would just go to bed. I did some of that work in my classes beforehand, but I did have to suffer some of the consequences of not having finished that. But sometimes that's what you just need to be sane, and that's human. That's totally human. You're not a robot. You can't just keep going and going and going and going. You're not ChatGPT, okay? You're not AI. So just take a chill pill and know that we all need breaks sometimes. Okay, peace.
That don't overwork yourself. Sometimes you may have to push through things, but just don't feel like you need to always push through and never take a break. We all need breaks. We all need that rest. Last little thing that I wanted to talk about is that you don't have to peak in high school. High school is just the beginning of your life. My teacher, my current teacher in English class, she was talking to our class about high school, and she said that some people say that high school was the best time of their life, that was the best part of their life, and that is so untrue. This is just the beginning of your life. You have so much to look forward to. This should not be your peak. Okay, if you're struggling now, it doesn't mean that this is what it's going to look like for the rest of your life. You have so much time to figure out your shit and just take it one by one. And I feel like one thing that has really spoken to me is a saying by one of my favorite YouTubers, Samantha Joe. She has struggled a lot with her mental health and just other things. And one of the things that she said every day was trying to be 1% better. It doesn't have to, you don't have to take a big step. It can be tiny steps, it can be little things that you integrate into your life that are going to help you so much in the long run. So I feel like being 1% better every day is just such a meaningful quote to hold on to, and I feel like everyone should think about that sometimes. So if you're struggling now, it doesn't mean your future isn't bright. High school is just one chapter of your story. You have many blank pages in your book, and you're not about to waste it on high school, okay? You have so much to look forward to, and I feel like that's something that people don't talk about or recognize a lot, is that they say like, oh, after high school, like you just get a job and you work all the time, you have to pay bills. That doesn't mean that life isn't enjoyable. And I know that as a senior or as a high schooler, I'm saying this, like how would I know? But I have accepted that I and that's why I'm excited for going after high school. I feel like high school for some people is such a great time, but for me, high school is not a good time. And I feel like I'm just so excited to look forward to what I have to do in the future. Bills and all that stuff, I understand that is just what I'm going to have to do, but that's not what I'm worried about. I'm excited to make memories and travel the world and do all that fun stuff. You know what? It just doesn't have to revolve all around oh my gosh, I'm just gonna have to be an adult. Of course you aren't. You're growing. Deal with it. But your whole world doesn't have to revolve around that.
Live while you're young. don't be afraid to venture out into the world or make mistakes. You never know if you're gonna like win the lottery or not. So just do like money is money is replaceable, but memories aren't, okay? So would you rather have no money and happy memories, or a money and like you're boring as riddle me that.
All right, so to close this all up, there's one thing I want you to remember from today. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. Growing up doesn't mean you have to get everything right on the first try. It's like quite literally the opposite. You want you want to experience, you want to experiment. You want to try new things. It's okay if you fail or if you succeed. It's perfectly fine. It's about learning and messing up and trying things over and over again, changing your mind and finding joy where you can. Okay, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This is my first podcast and hopefully they'll get better from here. I hope to have people on the next two that I make. So hopefully that will happen. I hope you guys were able to understand where I'm coming from and just like connect with what I had to say and maybe use it for your life too.
I hope next time goes better. I plan on having a few people on my podcast, so hopefully it can go a little bit more back and forth and get the point across a little bit better. But I hope you guys were able to understand and just, if even if I missed a couple points, let me know. And I hope this really helped you out.
All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.